for the training that we had last week. Taking 3 hours out of your week or day is a lot of time, I know, but that time I believe was well spent with the Georgia School Boards Association here last Thursday presenting training for us in the areas that we focused on as a board is the roles and responsibilities of the board members, effective BOE meetings, board member ethics, and advanced ed and board government issues. And we had some very good leadership by GSBA to help us understand these concerns a little more specifically, as well as had some good conversation to answer some of the questions that we had with regard to that. So, board members, thank you, and I felt very good about the training and was very pleased with the job that Georgia School Boards Association did with us last Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Harper. Any questions for Dr. Harper? Okay.
I have one other item, Mr. Chairman, is we do have a special election coming up. And Mr. Joseph Kirk, Bartow County Election Supervisor, gave us this information on March 19th for our board seat and qualifying. We'll begin at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, January the 30th, and end at noon on Friday, February the 1st. And I wanted to make sure that I know that y'all have that information, but reinforce that and say thank you to the Election Commission for that support. That's the superintendent's report this evening, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dr. Harper. At this time, we'll move to the approval of minutes. You have before you the December 10th, 2012 work session minutes. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes before you? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, if you'll raise your hand, please. It is 4-0. You have the December 10th, 2012 business meeting minutes before you. I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, if you'll raise your hand, please. It is 4-0. Now we move to the approval of the agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda for this evening.
So moved.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor, if you'll raise your hand, please. It is 4-0. You have the consent agenda before you. Dr. Harper, you want to address that, please?
Yes, sir. Can I make one comment?
Yes, sir.
On the consent agenda, are we allowed to pull those out so we can vote on separate? Because I've had lots of discussion on a couple of those. It's not proper.
No, what we'll can do, I think he's going to change and have the calendar and the policy of both first readings. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That was I had mentioned in my review of the agenda that I would make a change in agenda item number 3, that be first reading, along with approval of changes to board policy as first reading. So really the only vote that you'll have this evening is Board of Education calendar meetings, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right. Would you like to pull anything then?
Yes.
Okay. Which items would you like to pull from the consent agenda?
Just the first item, like
Okay.
discussion on, like maybe if we could do electronically, people sign that.
Okay. All right. Well, there's been a request to move from the consent agenda item number 1. That will leave items number 2 and 3. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda item with items 2 and 3 only? We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor, if you'll raise your hand, please. It is 4-0. Now we'll move to item number 1. Dr. Harper, would you address that again, and then we'll call for a discussion?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Board Member and or Chairman and Board Members, approval of changes to board policy BCBI and KCA, public participation at board meetings. This is the first reading. And essentially, what I'm asking the board do is change the policy that it not be at a specific time during the agenda, that the board has the leeway to put that at wherever they wanted to inside the agenda. I'm not asking that it be eliminated, but just that the policy calls for a specific time, and I'm asking that we have some flexibility in that.
Part of the discussion, or I've got some feedback from some people where it's hard for them to be in at a certain time, and if maybe we could have in there where they could respond maybe by email or fax or some other method, and of course if they're not here, then they wouldn't speak, obviously. Just trying to make it easier on the public participation.
For the public to sign up to speak.
Right, so let's speak, yes, sir.
Any other discussion?
Well, I would agree with that one, because I know that when I addressed the board years ago now, as a mom and as a parent, if you have children who are in after-school activities, or if it's a family where you have two working parents, meeting that deadline to be here by 5:15 is hard. If they could do it electronically, I think that would be helpful. I think the other thing that we need to consider is that the time for public participation needs to be consistent. And I think that one of the things that different people had suggested was moving the participation to the end of the board meeting, so that if you are running late, or if you are having issues with childcare or trying to balance making sure your family is taken care of, that if you know consistently that we do have a specific time that the public participation will occur, and being able to allow parents to sign up via email would take some of that burden of being quite so rushed to make it by that 5:15 deadline, and still allow parents and members of the public to be here to participate and tell us what we're doing.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Okay, Dr. Harper, if you'll take those suggestions and revisit this.
Yes, sir.
And then we can address that at our next meeting, and we'll probably reissue this as a different reading at that time, so that we'll have the document. And board members, if you've got thoughts between now and then, if you'd please share those with Dr. Harper. We'd need to work out the procedures for doing it electronically, to make sure that everybody's treated fairly, and how we're going to manage that kind of thing. So, any other discussion with this? Okay. Then at this time, I would entertain a motion to table item number 1 until the next board meeting, and we'll have that as the first reading. All right, we have a motion. Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor, if you raise your hand, please. It's 4-0. All right. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to go in.